Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back. First video of the new year, and there's so much stuff that I have to catch up on. There's been a lot of teasers, a lot of trailers, just everything for The Walking Dead. So much news about the Rick Grimes movie that I still have to talk about. I want to do the Q&As, and I still want to do my top 10 Walking Dead content things of 2020. So expect that one for sure this week, because I want to get that out of the way, because I'm already a little late with that, but I'm still going to post it because I want to. The Walking Dead is returning in 50 days. It is going to fly by super fast. I've done this, I mean, how many times? Whenever you get to that 60-day mark, it's like those last 60 days fly by so fast because they start to announce more stuff. You start to see more teaser trailers and stuff, and then it's just a few weeks at that point. So yeah, next month The Walking Dead is back, and they're already starting to release a lot more stuff. This year isn't going to be as quiet as last year. Last year definitely was very quiet for The Walking Dead, and obviously we were all dealing with just insanity last year. And I will say that that's why I haven't really been posting in the last month. And really, I guess, really all year last year, I didn't post a lot. And I'm not going to go into all of it here because you guys came to watch this video on this topic. And I'll explain more on Instagram. But I will say you don't have to worry about me or anything like that. I am totally fine. I am super happy. Last year was hard on a lot of people. And just at the end of the year, near the end, a lot of things were happening in my life that just... I don't know how I survived all of that. I mean, it was hard. A lot of people go through a lot of hard things, but you always got to remember that someone's going through something harder than you, and they're probably dealing with it better than you. And so when I think of it like that, it does help me, or does encourage me anyways, to be stronger. And anyways, I'll explain on Instagram later on. I want to talk about this, but I just wanted to say that's why I haven't really been posting. I had to deal with a lot of stuff, and everything's going really good. I actually wanted to post a couple days ago, but then some stuff came up, like nothing bad or anything. I want to have a video coming out every single day. If some days I can't, then I'll make sure I have at least one video coming out per day, because I like doing that. Thank you guys for all the comments and stuff. I know a lot of people have been wondering where I was and all of that, but I'm back. The Walking Dead's back. It's coming back next month, so it's exciting. But let's talk about this Here's Negan trailer. It's the first thing I want to talk about, because this, I think, was released a couple of days ago. I don't know exactly. Yeah, 3 days ago I saw that it was released. It's another virtual table read trailer. It's like a scene from Here's Negan, which is it's the real finale for season 10. There's quite a bit actually I have to talk about. There's the Diverged episode, and then there's the Find Me episode. And those episodes there, it looks really good. I would say this Negan one here, definitely, it took me by surprise by how amazing the dialogue was and the setting of it and the timeline of it, actually. To start off here, we see Negan, and this is actually set in current day. He's in a log cabin or something like that, staring at this fire. And I think he's alone. Someone could be with him, but I think he might be alone. Which tells me that at this point, it is very possible that Negan has already been sent away, like exiled from Alexandria. Well, actually, you know what? I'm wrong about that. It's possible, obviously. It's possible that maybe he just took Alexandria's, I can't remember, I think it was alcohol he was drinking, but maybe he just took some for himself and he's out somewhere else. But Josh McDermott, who is narrating and stuff for the table read, he does say that Negan is sipping on Alexandria's finest, I don't know if it's wine, beer, or whatever the hell it is. He's starting to feel the effects of the drink a little bit. So he could still be in Alexandria. I don't know if he took a glass and the bottle. That would make no sense. Walk away with the glass and bottle. Yeah. He's probably still in Alexandria. He looks over, he does see his black leather jacket. It's like hanging on this chair. And then the iconic line from season 7, episode 4, I believe, when Negan says, little pig, let me in," or whatever. And that line is said, I don't know if it's Negan that actually says it or if it's like a flashback, you know what I mean? Like a flashback voiceover, like he looks at the jacket and he just kind of hears it in his head, or if he's just kind of drunk a little bit, a little tipsy, he looks over and then he just says it because he's thinking about the past. Regardless, like that moment there, who he was when he was the leader of the Saviors, that's on his mind, and then he starts to think about the past, which then we cut to the past, and it goes back 12 years, which caught me by surprise, and I'm actually a little confused by the timeline because of something that happens here. Because they go 12 years in the past, which to me makes no sense because the apocalypse began 10 years ago. It's possible we're close to 12 years now. We have a scene here with Negan and Lucille. They're in this basement. They're in the basement, I guess, of their house. Negan's taking care of Lucille in the basement, And I think walkers are near because you hear, like they say that you hear walkers around. And then Negan's having a very hard time killing walkers, going out there and killing them. And the reason why the walkers are coming by is because there's a generator running in the house that's powering everything. And so it's just attracting the walkers, right? And then Negan's like, no, I don't think we're going to watch a movie today because Lucille was going through some DVDs. She wanted to watch a movie, but Negan's like, you know what? It's going to attract a bunch of walkers. I don't think we should watch a movie today. And she's like, you know, you can just kill them. It's not like killing an animal or a person. And he says, I know. It's not affecting me. It's not bothering me. It's just, I'm worried that if I do it, I'm going to get used to it, which is actually an interesting side to that character that we never saw before, right? Negan's always been a character that, I mean, he killed Abraham and Glenn, living people, right? At this point here, he's too scared to kill a walker. And so this is where I'm a little confused. Unless they just meant the generator's loud and it's bothering Negan, but I don't think that's what they meant. I think they said that there's walkers near. So if there's walkers around and that was 12 years ago, then that means the apocalypse began like 12 years ago. So we are a lot farther now in the timeline. I don't know exactly when this takes place. I don't know how they're planning to like do all of that, but it's possible now that we have a new timeline, that it's now been 12 years since the apocalypse began, since Rick went into that coma. And yeah, you know, like they could be doing that too because of Judith's age. That's very possible because Judith, the actress, is getting a lot older. So just to kind of, you know, unless it's just something really unrelated, I don't know. This part just completely threw me off, and I would really like to know what you guys have to say about all this. This is very different than the comic origin, though, because in the comic, Lucille dies as the apocalypse is happening, but she's in a hospital room. Here, she's in the basement, and Negan's taking care of her there. He has, like, all her bags and stuff in the fridge, and, you know, he's, like, replacing it on the IV or whatever, and he's taking care of her there, whereas in the comic he doesn't really take care of her. The hospital does, obviously, but he just goes to visit her. There's a lot of stuff that I'm wondering if they're going to do, because in the comic Negan actually cheats on his wife. Well, yeah, he doesn't like cheat, like it's cheating, but like he has an affair with this woman, and it's like a long-term affair. He's been with her for quite a bit, and then one day he just wakes up and he's like, you know what, I feel bad about this. And he calls it off. He stops all of that and goes to spend time with his wife. I don't know if they're going to do that on the show, because I think they're trying to make people like Negan. And I think doing that is going to make people not like him more, right? It would be really cool to do, though, because, you know, people aren't perfect. If people are more upset about that, the fact that he was treating his wife like that, than what he did with Glenn and Abraham, that's just ridiculous. Obviously, what he did to Glenn and Abraham is like a billion times worse, right? But just to add a little more depth and backstory to the relationship, to who Negan was, to who he is now, it makes him a little more complex, and I think it makes it a little bit more real. And also, it's shocking. It's really, I mean, that's the thing about it. That's the thing that's really hard about that, is because of Lucille's health condition. And Negan doing that, it just makes him seem a lot worse, right? But he does call it off. Like, he didn't do it because she was ill or anything like that. He was already having the affair. Then she got ill, and then he called it off, sort of thing. So you can kind of play it that way. Regardless, it's still bad. But I don't know if they're going to do that or have that involved in the story, or I guess his backstory. Also, what's different in this scene is just the fact that Negan is who he is. Because in the comic, he just killed those walkers. Like, he didn't care. He saw zombies, he just killed them. There was really no hesitation there. Here, he's actually hesitating a little bit, so a lot of things are already different with this backstory, which is fine. There was nothing about Here's Negan that I really wanted to see, right? There's nothing so iconic about it. It was just a cool backstory. I wanted to get his backstory mostly. But what I would like to see, and it would be cool if they could add that, is if Austin Emilio, or you know, the guy who plays Dwight, if he can make an appearance in the episode, because we do get that in Here's Negan. We see how he meets Dwight and forms the Saviors and stuff like that. So I think that would be really cool. I know Lucille is a big part of Negan's life. You are getting Hillary Burton in the episode, so you want to have her in it a lot. You know, you don't want to have her just in the beginning for certain scenes and then she dies, and then we follow Negan walking around doing all of that. But I'm sure you could change it up a bit, where you could have Lucille pretty heavily prominent in the episode, and then when she dies, around the same point anyways, is when Negan meets Dwight, and then we get all of that. Because we got to see some kind of evolution, right? Like this scene here that we see that Negan's having a hard time killing walkers. Well, eventually he doesn't, and he's Lucilleing people, right? So we got to see what happened there. And I do think it's probably Lucille's death that triggered it. But exactly what? Like, what triggered it? Did Lucille die from, I don't know. I don't really know what would do it. It's possible that Lucille does turn and then he has to put her down, but he doesn't. And he just walks away. And then that's just that guilt there. Like, he never did that. I don't know. There's definitely something here, but this scene here was definitely really exciting. Just because we've all been waiting for this backstory for years now, right? To finally get it, it's exciting. This episode's gonna air in like 3 months. It's the final episode, so that's why it's like 3 months from now. But yeah, I'm excited for 2021. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen with The Walking Dead this year. There's gonna be content all year, so much stuff to talk about, unlike last year, where it just completely shut down in March, April. I think it was March, April, around there. I think it was around the time hockey hockey was before. Anyways, everything shut down for the rest of the spring, the summer. Then in the fall, we got Fear, and Fear is still fun, and World Beyond, that was still a lot of fun to talk about. But The Walking Dead is, actually, I would say Fear was really exciting as well. I'm definitely excited for the second half of Fear the Walking Dead. But anyways, post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.